All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Fluffy to you in the Tier 9 Jutland. Said it's one of his best games. Actually, you said it's the best game you've ever had, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Now, the Jutland is a Tier 9 tech tree British destroyer. British destroyer characteristics, they have no engine boost. They have short duration smoke, but plenty of charges of that smoke. And at the higher tiers, they get a heal, which is very sexy. They also have this personal protection hydroacoustic search. It only reaches out to 3 kilometers. It's meant mostly to prevent you from being torpedoed while you're sitting in smoke and stuff. However, now that submarines are a thing, this hydro does the same as any other hydro for a submarine that is at maximum depth. And that is, if you are within 2 kilometers of a sub while hydro is going, you will detect that sub guaranteed 100% steady. And there's nothing the sub can do about it. Doesn't matter. They can't go any deeper because they're at max depth. So that little personal protection hydro actually got buffed, if you will, if you think about it, when subs got added to the game. So it's tech tree. Are you grinding up this line the first time?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Yes, you are. Okay. Okay. So Fluffy is showing you guys something that I kind of don't recommend. We're going to look at his build now. And that is playing this game with not upgraded hull. If you want to wait and upgrade or choose to upgrade or not upgrade the range later, that's fine. But you absolutely want to upgrade the hull. There's a few reasons for that. Usually a hull upgrade, and this is for any class, pretty much any class in the game, upgrade the hull. Use free XP if you've got it. It's that worth it, okay? Because what that does is that usually buffs your hit points. So right now you're at 14,800. If we pop that in, you can see that you've gained almost 4,000 hit points just from the hull upgrade alone. The other thing that you get out of the hull upgrade is typically a buff to your rudder shift time. So we're at 4.21 seconds rudder shift, and we go to 5.9 seconds on the A hull. So that's really important. You definitely want to buff your hull as soon as possible. The third thing that happens is you typically get an improvement in your anti-air. That's not the case for every single ship, but almost all of them get some sort of a buff. It's ironic. The B hull of the Jutland actually has less constant damage here. That's weird. Hi, Seabear. Thanks for checking in over on YouTube. Appreciate you. So going the A hull is a good idea. Do you have the free XP to do that, or do you hoard it like me?
I do. It was kind of money that I was lacking when so did that. Yeah.
As a rule of thumb, when it comes to credits, if I am low on credits, then I understand what you're saying. If I only wanted to play Tech Tree, then I would play a different mode than randoms. If I'm low on credits, I might play, for example, asymmetric battles, which is out now, or I might do operations, or I might just do co-op. Alternately, you can play premium ships that you might have, or just ships that you really enjoy, because the ships that you really enjoy, you're going to perform better and you're going to get more credits in. To me, it's that much of a difference to where I would personally hold off, like grinding the ship until I can, at the very least, get the hull upgrade, and even the upgrades too would be a good idea. Speaking of upgrades, I don't know if you guys saw, but it's been announced, next week, there will be a half-price discount on upgrades in World of Warships. So if you are sitting here like Fluffy and you don't have a lot of your ships upgraded, start a list and get those ready to go for when that discount goes live, and rake in the bonus there, because a 3 million credit upgrade suddenly becomes 1.5 million, and that's really sexy. Also,
I'm just gonna throw this excuse out there. That's what I was waiting for. I had no idea it was coming, but I was waiting for that.
I meant to do that, right? Now, if you've got things that you want to switch, say you've got a lot of people might have range and they want to switch to reload or something like that, then you probably want to sell it, because when you sell it for half price. So if you sell it for 1.5 million credits, then we wait for the sale, and then you buy it for 1.5 million credits, and it's a net zero. It's a free dismount, essentially, that you got. If you wait until the event starts, you'll sell this at half the current price. So half of 1.5 million credits, which is 750,000. So if you are planning on removing stuff from your ships and you have to use the credits, you're going to want to do that before the event starts. Sea Bear does not apply to legendary upgrades. You don't get a half price on Research Bureau points. That would be nice, but that doesn't work that way. Okay, let's continue on. So upgrades, you only have one upgrade, which is going to be your concealment. I mean, concealment is king in the game, so you basically said, what's the most important? Let's get that one down first, right?
Spot on.
Yeah. And then you've got a standard captain. You've got 13 points into this captain. And let's see. So you've gone ahead and done preventative maintenance, demo expert, fill the tubes, concealment expert. Okay, so then you went up the torpedo stuff here with Swift Fish and Liquidator. What was your thinking in doing these?
I love using torpedoes. Simple. And I like
right.
this single launch with the Jutland.
Okay. So luck chucks for the win, so go all in for them. Okay. You generally could get away with not doing Liquidator. I would hold that off. Hold off on that. Part of the problem when you start doing extras of these lower points is the higher point ones that you really, really, really want are just so much farther away. So, like, I would probably not do Demo Expert, and I would probably not do Liquidator. Demo Expert is going to be handy when you're fighting other destroyers or if you're sitting in smoke and maybe firing at super long range, but it's still pretty expensive for 1%. And if that's the case, now you've only got 10 points invested, and then you've got the ability to get a 4-point skill right off the bat, and that would be probably radiolocation is what I would do, so you know where your nearest enemy destroyer is. Is that what you're thinking, or are you thinking something else?
Yeah, I was thinking that or adrenaline.
So
There's 3-point adrenaline rush one.
right, adrenaline is good too. Both of these are kind of must-have skills. The problem, though, is if you do that, now you're at 17, you've got a heal. Anytime you have a heal, I always recommend Superintendent to get an extra charge of the heal. That's just, why the heck not? And you also get extra smoke, which the Hydro, you're probably not going to burn through 4 charges in the battle because it's such a long duration. But, you know, smoke, you might need that extra charge, especially with carriers and the heal. So if you go Superintendent, the other thing is you typically want Survivability Expert, but you went with Fill the Tubes so you can chuck out torps like crazy. So you're kind of sacrificing a little bit of hit points for your torpedoes, which is fine. If that's what you care about, then there you go. But you can see in this build at this point, there's no space anymore for Demo Expert once you've done this. So that's the problem with taking like the lower... And are you planning on moving this captain up to Daring at tier 10?
Yes.
Okay. So you want to really be thinking about a Daring captain then. What do you want on your Daring? So, you know, those are kind of things you have to think about because otherwise you're forced to respec the captain, and that's spending doubloons or Commander XP to do that, you know, or pray that Wargaming does a free respec event or something at some point, which they could do. You never know.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, to be fair. Prepping for the Daring, because I have no idea how the Daring plays.
Right. And she's very similar to Jutland. The biggest thing about her is that she's got 360-degree turrets, and she's got 6 guns and, you know, 3 duels. So, you know, she's a very comfortable ship. So the other thing, too, about these ships, Jutland and Daring, their AP is pretty sexy. So what a lot of people do at the higher tiers is they don't actually spec in for the torpedoes. They spec more for the guns. And they spec more for things like, here, I'll show you, for example. They might look at extra heavy ammunition being the 2-point skill, for example. That's really handy. You don't have Last Stand. I highly recommend Last Stand for survivability. Actually, I probably would have taken that before Swift Fish if I were you, because Last Stand keeps your engines and rudder moving even if they get disabled. And on that ship particularly, with the lack of engine boost, you really can't afford to lose your engines and just be sitting there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. I tend to, often when I lose my engines, I tend to normally have my repair ready for that.
Yes. But what always seems to happen, at least to me, is I use my DCP and then I hear problem solved, sir, and then boom, there goes my engines. Like immediately after that's done. So that's why I like having last stand is it gives me the flexibility to still be able to utilize that stuff when those things are down. So, what I'm doing now is I'm kind of taking you through my core build and why I talk through it, like why I pick those. And then, of course, if you go survivability, now you don't have room for extra heavy ammo. So if you're the kind of person that just shoots HE and doesn't care, this isn't going to be a good skill for you anyway. So there you go. But you can see just how constrained the build is if you do the core build like I usually do with destroyers, you really don't have space for much else, do you?
No, it definitely does limit you.
Yeah. And then for a daring, I would highly recommend Consumable Specialist so that you can get your charges of Smoke Burst, your Short Burst Smoke Generator, up even quicker. So that's a cooldown of 61.5 seconds versus 66.5 seconds. So you gain 5 seconds in faster cooldown. Now you've got the Consumables flag, which obviously helps with it too. But that comes in really handy for those games where a carrier just hunts you. You know what I mean? Like relentlessly hunts you down. Having the ability to smoke quicker, like basically, if you think about it, that minute until your next smoke, you're sitting in smoke for a while and then it dissipates. Maybe you got about, I don't know, 30 I don't know the math off the top of my head, but you know what I mean. You got a few seconds of downtime between smokes. During that time, the carrier is typically either attacking somebody else or bringing a squadron back to attack you again. So this comes in really handy. Some people prefer maybe grease the gears with the daring because it's, you're again, it's guns, you're up close. Some people prefer gun feeder with the daring because then you can switch between AP and HE. So it really just comes down to, what you care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that does make perfect sense there.
So one other thing that I would mention is because this build is so different from what you've started, if you want to conserve your Commander XP and doubloons, when you get the Daring, just put a new captain in it and leave the one that you have right now in the Jutland and just let him sit there. You never know if you're going to play the ship again. If you enjoy the line, then
I do
why
really
not?
enjoy the Jutland, to be fair.
Yeah, then keep...
It just needs to be a bit faster.
Yeah, right? So then just keep it as is. Other things to keep in mind, Jack Dunkirk does have a buff to Consumable Specialist, so that takes the cooldown even lower. So if you do want to go into Consumable Specialist, Jack Dunkirk is a good choice if you haven't used him on any other Tech Tree ships. Yeah, Jack and Bert. I think one of them was doubloons, the other's Cole. And then Cunningham... Yeah, Cunningham also has Consumable Specialist buff, and then Cunningham, of course, has the special talents here, right? So if you get a Witherer, for example, in your Daring, you get 10% faster torpedo tube reload time. Your main battery is even better as well. If you score 4 floods in the Daring, and you said you love torpedoes, that helps your ship speed right there. So that's kind of sexy. And if you get 2 kills, you get 1 extra consumable each. So you get an extra heal and extra smoke on top of Superintendent, which is really fun. So I'm just pointing it out here as considerations, okay? If you enjoy the ship, you really like how it plays, and you're going to keep the current captain on, maybe consider putting Cunningham or one of the Dunkirks on your Daring if you don't have them on anything else that you care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's move on to signals now. So you've got fire chance and flood chance. That's fine. Flood chance is okay. For destroyers, for surface ships, usually the flood chances are really high anyways. So I don't know that it's necessary to worry about flood chance. But, I get it. You're using all your signals. Sergeant Sully, thank you for the sub, man. Everyone does love their Christmas pudding. That's right. That's right. One One moment I have to read the sub message. Like a good Christmas puddin', you've been a delightful treat to the Lord's Death community for 41 months. Your resub is the cherry on top of our festive season. It's the Whitaker's cherry, of course. Here's more to epic battles and replays. Thank you, Sergeant Sully, for 41 months of supporting this channel. That's outstanding, dude. Okay, so flags. You've got the heal boost, which is a smart flag. You've got the speed boost, another good one. You've got the consumables boost, which is good. You've got the smoke booster. The smoke booster is a double-edged sword. It keeps your smoke consumable action time up, but because the action time is up, that also decreases or extends the time in which you can use the next smoke. So if you find yourself like saying, gee, I really wish I had the next smoke available, then I would take this off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that. I don't normally encounter that sort of problem, if I'm honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But then normally I don't have games like this where I last almost the full time, so...
There you go. I like to share this because it's not just you, but it's anybody else who's playing this ship might come to this later and say, wow, I didn't even think about that. So that's why I like to talk through all these kinds of things. Now, the one thing that's nice about this, though, is if you get into situations a lot where you're at full speed, you spot somebody, you're heading straight at them, and you need to stop and smoke in a hurry, this flag gives you the little bit of extra flexibility of, say, you're trying to slow down and your engines break, and all of a sudden you can't slow down as fast anymore. This comes in handy there. But beyond that...
That one has definitely helped. That point you just put there, that's helped a lot.
Okay, good to know. Now, you've got the Hydro Boost. I would drop the Hydro Boost on this because your Hydro is, frankly, quite long as it is. So, you know, again, it depends on how you play the ship. Usually, if you're going to be aggressive, you want your Hydro active. I know a lot of people like to put the special Hydro booster on because this is a long duration, so 20% more of a long duration is an even longer duration, and then you add on top of that the flag. So if you want, that's fine. That's okay. I'm going to drop the Hydro flag for a second. I want to highlight a very important flag that you didn't take, and that would be your fire reduction flag. You absolutely want a fire reduction flag.
I would have had that one on had I had any of it.
Okay. Yeah, if you're out, and flags are expensive credit-wise, so that's fair. And then, of course, there's the new hotness, the HP flag. I wouldn't use that now because you've got the A hull, but when you've got the B hull, then this increases your hit point pool even more so, which comes in really comes in very helpful. So let's see, 17,950. You go up to 21,550, and then you add this flag on top. We just drop that for a second. And okay, it's not showing up on the thing yet. They have to update the site with the flag, but you get the idea. That helps you too. If you find yourself shooting AP all the time, then you might consider dropping the fire chance flags, and then pick up a ram flag because you just never know when you ram a sub. So having the ram flag is helpful for that, and the HP flag is always helpful too. But again, these cost credits, and if you don't want to spend the credits.
I've heard your desire for the ram flag and your reason behind that many times.
You just never know when you have to ram a bitch, you know? All right, let's go.
I do spam the HE a little bit too much sometimes.
Hey, that's not a problem. I spam the HE too, because to me, HE is like I don't have to think, ammo. And frankly, a lot of times when you're in the heat of the moment, you don't have time to sit there and say, oh, should I have AP or HE going? You're too busy thinking about dodging torpedoes, dodging incoming fire, what's my smoke like, can I heal yet? There are so many other things coming up. So, a lot of people will often criticize me when I live play and I'm not switching between HE and AP. Don't worry about it, Let's see. Here we go. I got to write down the replay here. Jutland. You're on my map, Faroe Islands. Nice. Ram flag should be in the moment, in the moment console. Press 11 for. Oh yeah. Hoist it real quick.
Yeah. I can agree with Bear on that.
Yeah. So let's see.
I
Go ahead.
just want to point out this is quite a slow game in comparison to some that you have
I don't care.
shown. So
I don't care. So this is a middle tier game. Are you on EU server?
yes, on EU.
Okay. Okay. So you are bottom tier. What do you have to worry about? You have to worry about the Mosfa, because the Mosfa definitely has radar. It's 12 kilometer. The Edinburgh could have radar. Most likely is going to have smoke.
I believe the Edinburgh had smoke, but I can't be certain.
Edinburgh is similar to Minotaur in that people can choose to take radar, and it's got the ability to stealth radar, or very close to it. Neptune loses that ability, and then it comes back with Minotaur. So some people do play radar Edinburgh, especially in ranked, but the vast majority of people use smoke. Obviously, the carrier is going to be a pain in the butt for you, just for spotting. I mean, you can probably dodge their torpedo bombers fine. The HE bombers are a pain, and the rockets can be a pain if he's a good carrier player. Los Andes, you can't let get close to you. Navarran is probably secondaries as well, so you don't, like, and they're divved, so when you see one, you see both.
Yep.
Sherman's got the
I've seen that every
Hydro.
time.
Yep. Sherman's got the Hydro, so you have to be careful with that. I believe it's 5 kilometer. I can check with the alt key in a second. And then you've got the Chungmu, which could have radar, most likely has smoke. Oh, and then you've got a sub to deal with. You got all the fun in this game.
Yep.
Alright, let's drop that. And then let's see, what's the Sherman's Hydro range is 5 kilometer, yeah. Okay, you're at the A cap. The sub was seen on the surface. Now, you could be aggressive here and try to, you know, go and kill the sub, but I wouldn't, because there's a whole lot coming your way, including the Navarra and Los Andes. So I wouldn't be moving forward like you are here. I wouldn't creep forward. I'd be reversing.
Now that's I did turn around here in a second. I used the smoke to turn around and then hydro it to see if the sub was close.
Okay. So the thing
At
is,
this point, I noticed my team had all turned around apart from the sub on my side, pretty much.
at this point, you would be spotted by the plane, but I would say I would not smoke until you see a plane that's going to spot you, or you know you're about to be spotted otherwise. Because you smoking here, like, if you look at the minimap, if the sub is on the other side of here, he's the only thing that can spot you aside from the carrier. You smoking just told the enemy team there's a destroyer, and it's right at that spot. And there's a Chungmu if he's...
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. The Chungmu, of course, if he's got radar, then he's in radar range. Edinburgh is about to be. Also, see what's happening right here? With the smoke screen, you told the sub also that you are there. He can navigate out, and he can ping you in that smoke. Like that.
Yeah, I didn't think about that at the time.
Attention. Reporting the target position. Problem solved, sir.
Chat, what do you guys think about the chat window being where it is now? It's covering most of the in-game chat. Maybe I can drop it a little bit. Trying to move it from where it was over here, so that if I have like clip moments or something like that, then I have more screen space to adjust.
Yeah, so what I was sort of thinking there was to try and keep those on from the enemy team spotted more than attacking and everything. I know I shouldn't have used my repair to immediately clear the ping, but I did.
That was okay because you're not spotted. Now, if there was more radar over there, let's say, you know, you got radared by the Chungmu or the Edinburgh, that'd be a big problem. If the U-190 stayed where he was and kept pinging you, that would also be a problem. But he didn't, so you got lucky there. The important thing is you're now spotted again, so you use the smoke to turn around. But like I was saying, if instead of creeping forward, you had started your turnaround maneuver, you'd already have been turned around, and you could be running away. Okay, so you got spotted, you got pinged, you DCP'd right away. I might have held the DCP a few seconds longer just in case somebody's like secondaries hits you or something. And you
Yeah,
gotta think
the
very
fire.
skinny thoughts. Yeah, right, and you might get a fire or lose your engines, which could be a big problem. Now, one of the things that I like to do, you've been sitting in the A cap this whole time. What I like to do is actually get out of the cap. When I'm the only ship in the cap, I like to get out of the cap. But I don't go far from it. I literally go to the edge of the cap, just outside, and I stop. And I do that on purpose, because it encourages the enemy team to stay in the cap, right? You let them gain cap points, they stay, and then you back over the cap and you stop them from gaining points when it gets to about a quarter cap. So I would stop like right here, and then I would back up a little bit, you know? And that allows me to encourage the enemy team to sit. I want them to sit.
And
I want them to
encourage
say...
to come forward.
Exactly. And then what you can do is you can gun things that spot you, you can smoke, you can back off the cap, but if you get spotted, you gun it down, and you get decaps. And decaps are base XP. So it's very sexy, especially in ranked battles.
Our team has taken the lead.
I like how you're telling your teammate we might need to back out here because nobody else is here.
Yeah.
Here's a good opportunity. See, yeah?
Because as Jean Bart had turned around and ran away at that point, that's when I noticed it, and that's why I accelerated out of the cap instead of staying around the area.
Oh, absolutely.
At that point, when I was seeing the Jean Bart was nowhere near support anymore.
Now, this is
But
a... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, gone.
No, finish your thought.
The Harland? The cruiser was still nearby, though, so that's why I didn't go too far away.
Yeah, your Harlem. I see it.
Yeah, that's
So-
the word.
That's all right. So what I was going to tell you is your sub is spotting the enemy team right now, I think. Right? I can't tell if he's surfaced or not.
I
No,
don't think
he
he
isn't.
was, no.
Okay. Because I was going to... Oh, there's a plane coming. So this is a really good opportunity for you to stop and smoke and shoot. And you can shoot these guys here. The Awami's not in the cap yet, but the Navaran and Andes are. I would just shoot them. You might get a fire on them. You might not. But the big thing is you get the decaps. And again, that's XP. It also slows them down because they want to stay in the cap and get the cap. So if you reset cap progress, you force them to kind of sit there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, let's continue. Haven't heard this song in a long time. Good choice.
I need intelligence data.
Hi there.
What's up, Big O? I'm gonna move the chat window down just a tad. What am I clicking on here?
So I hit the Los Andes a good couple of times with torps there.
And you
Was it
flooded out the
Navaran,
Navaran too. Yeah.
Yeah.
The best thing about that is you just took out somebody who's got a div mate, so now the other guy's got to sit and watch the game for the rest of the duration of the game. Until he
that's a
dies or
pain to
whatever.
do.
Oh, it is. Absolutely it is. Let's see how the chat window looks now. Okay, go a little bit lower is fine. All right. So I like the decision to, to back off. I mean, that's very smart. It's about good there. We'll leave it and see what it looks like. Oh, now you're being risky. Why are you turning back in here?
Because I've noticed the Awami is focused elsewhere. And if I remember rightly, I'm about to smoke for the Harlem and then drop torps for the Awami when it comes around. Or was the torps for the... I can't think what else the torps were for.
Uh-huh. So there's one thing that you're extremely lucky about, and that is the fact that the sub went and dove the moment you popped out in front of him.
Yeah, I did get lucky there.
I like the fire everything torpedoes.
Yep.
Good choice to.
Over half health, so.
Yeah, and because he's
Because
that
of the
low.
rock that were close range.
Because he's that low, I was going to suggest too, spread your torps out more. Because if he's that low, he doesn't need to take that many torps to be killed. So, most battleship players will do one of two things when they see, when they see a smoke screen. They're going to assume there's a destroyer in it, and they're going to either charge or turn away from it. In this case, the Iwami turned away from it, and obviously most of your torpedoes were missed because of that. Heal time. Yeah, it's easy to spread them too narrow with single fire. Single fire torps are great if you know where the person's going to be coming in from. You didn't know they were going to keep their course. So, you know, if you're going to fire the torps, you got to manually spread them out more. Good dodge here.
Yeah, now at this point, because I noticed the Iwami and the others are dead, and then you got the Edinburgh and that pulling away. That's why I pushed forward towards hunting the sub.
No, absolutely. Now is where you go and hunt the sub, and you can see now you're within the assured detection. So he's gonna jump up for a second. He's hoping, and he baited you into shooting. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but he baited you into shooting, and the Edinburgh is now spotting you. Kill indeed. Don't smoke. There's no need to smoke.
I think I do smoke here.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I did.
Smoke screen set.
But just sit on top of him as he dies slowly.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, isn't it?
It is.
All right, well,
Just
since you
watch him
smoked,
flooding there.
right? Since you smoked, now you can go and kill the Edinburgh. I love how what I was talking about with that long duration hydro came right there, like perfectly illustrated, you know? Fireworks for the dead sub, damn right. Now those torps, I don't think he's gonna sit there.
No, I don't think he does at that point, if I'm honest.
So, you know, if you're gonna single fire, like here's where a single fire is good. You put one there, you put one there, and then you just kind of fill in between with just kind of random, and you know, you see what you can come up with. What you did was you did a whole bunch on one bearing and then widespreaded. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You weren't gonna hit him with any spread of torps, anyways. Your Schlieffen's in the middle of the map. That's cute.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he was doing in there. I think he actually dies shortly, that Schlieffen.
Yeah, he's probably getting farmed. I mean, yep. Oh well.
Hello.
Hey, Grunty, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Okay,
A bit tired.
fair. I like how you're communicating with your teammate. There's your cover my replay. Thanks, I knew it was coming.
Do that.
Yeah, I think I actually gave the Harlan and the sub a +1 in this game as well.
I would too. I
Just
mean, your sub
sticking
was,
out.
yeah, your sub was smart enough to not go in and get dead. And then the Harlem found a really nice defensive position, and it made it very difficult to get killed until he got one-shotted.
Yeah. He did die in the end, but he did well, so I did end up +1 in them both for that.
Yeah, and I mean you're up on a ship right now. Ooh, your black is never mind.
Yeah.
And
The black
Choklov is over.
overextended quite a bit.
Yeah, well, so is your Choklov.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing either.
Yeah. Okay, you've got guns ready. You should be thinking about who are you going to spot now first, and this is where radio location comes in so handy. Where's the Kita going to
See
be?
who's closest, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All stations.
If I remember rightly, I take both the Edinburgh and the Kitter out next, but I can't think what order they're in.
Well, the Edinburgh is running away, and rightfully so. So I think that you're probably going to run into Kita, but because the Kita's got radiolocation and you don't, he's got the advantage, right? He can set up for where you're going to be, and you have to just kind of guess. This is why I like having radiolocation. I get a lot of people that say, well, if you're a good player, you know, there he is right there, see? And the time it takes for you to react to his location, turn your guns, and shoot, it takes you a little bit longer. And now, once again, the Edinburgh is spotting for you while you have to hope that you aim correctly.
Problem solved, sir.
Yeah, I popped a smoke to...
Oop.
Now the Edinburgh has got me on sight.
Mm-hmm.
Smoke screen.
I know, I was taken... Yeah. We got lucky the torp didn't come active in time there.
Yeah, so I would keep reversing here. Keep reversing and keep your bow on the target. Well, okay. I wouldn't move forward like this out of the smoke, because if you move forward out of the smoke, you're probably going to be spotted by the carrier. Also, get your hydro going.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking where the hydro is concerned there.
Also, I would have... Yes? I would have held the torpedoes for the Kaga. Like the Edmund's got hydro and he's going to run away. So,
yeah, one thing I want to point out here that I noticed most destroyer players don't do, and I'm not sure if it's a good thing or not. I tend to activate and deactivate my anti-air and secondaries on and off throughout the game to try and avoid detection of like the carriers and everything. And I'm using the kit as smoke now.
Yep, it's smart. So I do the same thing, and what you do is you, ooh, and then you, oh Jesus, and then what you do is you use the, you use the sector reinforcement key to turn your anti-air on.
Oh, I didn't realize I could turn it on using that. I thought I had to manually with the...
No.
No, it's
By
much
the way,
quicker
it
to do
also
it that
goes automatically on if you press the defensive fire button.
That's
if you
correct.
Have a ship with it.
Oh, I didn't know that one either. But I did take the Edinburgh with that brace of torps I threw out there.
Yeah, by the way, Taz, what were you saying about holding those torps for the Kaga?
I know, right? Seriously. But yeah, but so what I do is I actually respec my key assignments, and I have the anti-air gun disabled to the tilde key. It's right next to the 1. And I do that because the P key is so difficult to get to. You have to take your hand off your mouse to turn the anti-air on and off by default. And that's just bad. Like, you know, I want to have everything in one spot. So anti-air is so important to be able to turn on and off. I put on the tilde key. And then the same thing with activating sector, because I don't need to turn anti-air back on again. I can just activate sector. So I have that set to the V key, V for victory. And that just makes it easier.
You could use AP here, by the way, if you want.
Yes, yes, AP would be good here.
Yeah, I'm still trying to...
AP angles.
I'm still trying to learn all the times when you should use HE and AP as opposed to it. So that's where I know I need to improve on that bit, but...
Like, here's the thing, like, you could just throw out one AP salvo and see what it does. If you get the full pen, stick with AP. If you see you get shatters, bounces, or whatever, you switch back.
Yep. The difficulty is right now, obviously, the carrier doesn't want to die, so he's making it difficult. So you don't have the chance to really sit there and say, is this going to work or not? Because you just killed him.
Yeah.
Nice crack,
I was
indeed.
just focused on dodging his torpedoes at that point.
Exactly.
And just destroying his planes, getting extra XP that way.
Yep, and that goes back to what I was talking about before, right? With switching between AP and HE, a lot of times you're so busy focused on what's going on in the battle, you don't have time to keep going back and forth. So, you know, I get it.
I can't remember if we killed the Chengnu or whether we just time it out here.
You're going to time out. I mean, the points, yeah. But who cares?
The points, yeah. We win on points.
Yeah. That was a
And
really
I
good game.
Out.
And you survived. That's right. Look at you.
Yeah, he survived because the game ended. I think he would have actually burned out here otherwise.
He probably would have.
Were then coming back up. So I may have been able to repair in time, but yeah, probably dead.
First place. And this is an A-hull Jutland with only the, 5th slots consumable module, and that's it.
Yep.
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah.
Jutland is
So
actually one of the weird ships that still has a gun difference on the A-hull, right?
I think you're right, yeah. So anyway, you killed the carry, you killed the Eden, you killed the sub because you literally just sat on top of him. That was hilarious. Poor Navarin. I didn't realize you did that much damage to him, but that one torpedo, yeah, okay.
Yep. And he
Very
got
nice.
flooded as well, the Navarin did, didn't it?
Yeah, yep. So, nice setup. Just from talking through this, there's already a few things that you've kind of learned, some little tips, and then also like positioning things. We'll put the replay render up now. And then if you or anybody in chat have ideas for a title for this game, I'm all ears. Very sad, but you can't follow both stream and replays because you're working. Join tomorrow. No worries, OT. I'm actually going to be streaming on Sunday, not tomorrow, though. Watch the music
I know
video
it
for
was
this.
a little bit of a slow game, but I
There's
still
nothing
did
wrong
what I
with it.
did.
There's nothing wrong with slow games, because you can see how sometimes slow games turn into really fast games. I think it's far more important that you don't die early, and put yourself in a position to have an impact at the end of the game. So there's that turnaround. Like I said, if you had backed in instead and already started turning and you hadn't smoked, I think you would have probably come away better there.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so I don't actually know if the Edinburgh definitely didn't have his radar, and neither did the Chungmu, I don't think.
we'll see it in the replay render here. We'll see a smoke on them, or we'll see a radar circle if they radared while they're spotted. That's the hard part.
And we just smoked here, no? So that's definitely smoke.
Yeah.
Which is oh no, that was a shot. Oh. It's to be expected. Like very very few
Chungmu or
Animation
Edinburgh
destroyers run radar in.
in a random.
I think it's a bit more common for the British light cruisers, but the Penation destroyers you very rarely see it in randoms.
Yeah, I used to love playing Radar Yu Yang in ranked.
Radar.
Very helpful.
I like to run a leg mod radar gun build Yu Yang, and it's just fun as hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So what are we going to call this replay?
God knows, you choose.
Was this your first game in the Jutland?
No, no, it definitely wasn't my first game in the Jutland. I think it may have been my 3rd or 5th in the Jutland, though, but I think that was one of the only ones I lasted the whole time. I normally die around the 10-minute mark in it.
Okay. So a working title I put down is just peak a-hole.
Do you not like that?
Huh?
Do you not like that? You called it a PK hole. Do you not like the performance?
Yeah, and Grunty's right. So when you go from the A-hull to the B-hull, I didn't catch this earlier, but you do lose
My bad.
hull, yeah.
I thought you said hole, not hull. My apologies. That's the
That's part of the joke, though. But anyway, yeah. So when you flip over to the B hull from the A hull, you do lose one barrel of your gun, or you gain one. You gain one.
You gain one.
Yeah, you gain one because you have a single turret that becomes a double. Anyway. All right. Well, that was a good replay to start the stream off of. So off on. So thank you very much, Fluffy, for sending in the replay and for supporting the channel, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for going over it. I learned a lot from that, so